Well, Rally Finland still remains as one of our favourite rallies. Second place this year in the Junior WRC and missing the win by just over 8 seconds. So it was quite a good weekend, I suppose. A little bit frustrating, or, left a little bit to be desired, I guess. Unfortunately, we got one puncture on Saturday afternoon, which dropped us around 40 seconds. So, yeah, that was a shame. But ultimately, it's still an incredible rally. It's a really, really tough event, tough and demanding from a driving point of view. I mean, it's not tough in a sense of Greece where it's super hot and rough and really difficult for the cars and that sort of thing. It's just the pace is absolutely relentless, and especially this year in the Junior WRC, it's been a really big fight all year, and we knew that coming to this rally in Finland, it was again going to be a big fight, which it certainly turned out to be. So yeah, it's a great event. Started out well for us on recce, and we had some really nice tests as well in the kind of week leading up to the rally, and then also on the Monday of the rally, testing the car. So we got to do some quite decent kilometres to really get a feel and I guess reset back into the demanding nature of these Finnish roads, because to be honest, I really find that it takes a bit of time to get back up to speed on these sort of stages when you haven't really driven them in a while. And for me, I hadn't really driven properly in Finland on gravel since Rally Finland last year in 2024. So yeah, for sure, it takes a bit of getting used to, and we were fortunate to do some good preparation for that. And then, yeah, basically rolling straight into the event. It's, really great event. Like I said, the stages are just incredible. A little bit easier probably for us this year because we had done about 75% of the stages from last year. So a lot of the terrain was pretty familiar. Having said that, it's still not an easy rally and not an easy recce, especially. The roads are so wide, and it's really tricky when you're making the pace notes, trying to pick the line, and you're always trying to drive the line that you want to drive in the rally car as close as possible, but it's very difficult in Finland when there's so many crests, and also the roads, the stages get used by daily traffic basically every day. So yeah, it's not so easy in that regard. The rally itself started pretty standard for us. First pass of the Harju Super Special stage. I mean, I've never been probably a fan of this stage in particular, but I've never been any sort of king of super special stages as well. So yeah, we were fourth fastest there, which was pretty to be expected, I suppose. But we knew that the real action starts on Friday morning, and the Friday morning was a little bit of a struggle. I must say the whole of Friday actually probably didn't live up to the expectations that we had. Most of the stages were familiar from last year, with the exception of one. So we're really hoping to capitalise on that, but probably missed a little bit of pace on these. A lot of the stages on Friday are very flat and just super fast, like long straight corner. And I was probably just struggling a little bit to really carry the maximum speed. We missed a few stage wins by, just a second or a couple of seconds, and the gaps were really, really tight. We were missing sort of a 1/10 or 2/10 of a second a kilometre over most of the stages. We were consistent with our times in that sort of bracket, second, third, even fourth on some stages. But yeah, we were there, but not just missing that last little bit. So still, it was a consistent day, and we were pretty happy. We had a decent run then through one of my favourite stages of the rally, Muhimpa, which is a really, really incredible stage, proper roller coaster finish stage. And yeah, fortunately, we were able to win one past that. So that was a really, really nice bonus. And then, on top of that, we finally were able to win a super special stage, this Harju stage, on the Friday evening, which is, rerun after Thursday as well. So that was a cool little bonus to top off our day. And yeah, I mean, it's just an incredible day's rallying. We picked up the lead in that Muhimpa stage that I mentioned before when Milla Johansson, who we're fighting for the championship and we were in a really close battle with for the rally lead as well, picked up a puncture. So yeah, I guess, we got a puncture in that stage last year, so it is easy enough to do. There's plenty of loose rocks that are hiding around, so yeah, not so easy. Going into Saturday, then it's the proper finish stages. It's a roller coaster day. All the stages are super demanding, really high speed, really rapid. Started out with a new stage as well, so never easy trying to obviously go full speed to the brand new notes, but yeah, that's what we had to do. The stage started actually on quite a narrow road and lots of kind of small bumps and jumps in the forest. So yeah, really not easy. And then again out onto the typical fast finish forest stages. So yeah, again, not such an easy day, but pretty straightforward. Especially the morning loop was really nice. We were quite consistent. We'd probably leveled up our speed a little bit, although we were still maybe missing that last little bit that we really wanted to try and find to win some more stages. We took one stage win, and I think we were second in every other stage of the loop, and managed to sort of hold and just slightly extend our rally lead. So it was really good from that point of view, and we're really enjoying it. I mean, the racing is super, super tight, and we did one stage on the first pass, and there was maybe the top 5 cars in the junior category were separated by less than a second and a half, so over a 20k stage. So it was really, really cool. And you knew as well when you were driving that, all you had to do was just miss an apex or just be a little bit conservative in one braking area, and you knew that, you might have left half a second there, and it's going to be really difficult to get that time back. So it was really good in a way, pushing us to try and strive for the perfect stage every stage, because ultimately, finding a world championship level, that's what you need to do. You need to be trying to aim for the perfect stage every stage, and you know that if you hesitate somewhere, there's someone else is not going to hesitate, and they'll take the time on you. So yeah, the morning loop was quite positive, and then moving to the afternoon loop, again, started relatively, actually not so good with the first stage of the afternoon. I lost, in a way, quite a lot of time for Finland standards. We gave away about 7 seconds in the one stage, so it was a little bit tricky. I was quite conservative, obviously too conservative in this really narrow section of stage, quite rutted and not necessarily rough, but still big hits, and yeah, very, very rutted, and the grip changing all the time because it was sort of raining on and off, and there was big question marks: is it going to rain, is it not going to rain, and that sort of thing. So you kind of just had to obviously put up with the conditions that you got, and yeah, unfortunately we gave away a little bit of time there. We managed to sort of take back some of that. At that point we were fighting Eamon Kelly for the win of the rally, or for the lead of the rally, sorry, and we gave away something like 6 or 7 seconds to him on that first stage of the loop, but we were able to then basically take that straight away back again on the next stage. So, with the lead wasn't huge at that point, around 15, 16 seconds, but we were relatively comfortable that we could hold that margin. There was some stages he would take maybe a second or two off, but then the next stage I'd take a second or two off. So again, it was a close battle, and like I said, relatively comfortable in a way that we felt we were controlling it. Even though the pace was relentless, we were pushing hard, we still felt like we were in control of the rally, and we had our lead under control. And like I said a couple of times already, that in Rally Finland the gaps are so small and the margins are so tight that 16 seconds is a relatively comfortable gap, I would say. If you're in Greece, 16 seconds is nothing, but in Finland it really was somewhat comfortable. So yeah, it was all going relatively okay in the afternoon loop, and then on the second to last stage of the loop, I started to probably unravel a bit. Actually, I spun on one of the most legendary crash corners, I guess, of the stage. So it was really random. Basically, I think I just turned in a little bit too wide, a little bit missed the line, and basically when the front hooked into the ruts, I lost the rear and spun, and all of a sudden we were going backwards down the road.
Let's go. 100. Left 7 block, nips. 4.
It was a bit frustrating. It was a bit of a kind of ran out of talent moment. I knew the corner, I knew the place. Obviously the condition evolved a little bit from first pass to second pass, but yeah, it was a bit frustrating to spin there, and then not so many kilometres after that, we somehow managed to pick up a puncher. Not really sure where. So I think there was one sort of decent hit from the front right corner, which is where we got the puncture on, and then basically maybe 5 or 6 k's from the end, the tyre went flat and we had to drive on it for the rest of the stage. So yeah, it was a little bit frustrating. So in total, we lost about 40 seconds on that stage, and at first it probably feels like the end of the world, but I think it dropped us back to maybe 3rd or 4th. I don't really remember, but we still had our eyes on the top, and we wanted to push back as far up as we could get, but by that point we knew that the win then was a bit of a long shot unless Eamon made a mistake. So yeah, there was one stage left to do in the afternoon, which we just got through, really wet and slippery stage, and reset and basically prepared that, okay, tomorrow we'll go out, and we had 2 passes of Von Emporia in front of us, and the plan was quite clear. The plan was to get back to second place and to win the 2 passes of Von Emporia, because at that point our worst result was a second place in Greece. And then we knew that basically if we don't finish higher than second, then this rally will be our dropped drop the score anyway. So yeah, the goal, there was more emphasis on trying to win the 2 stages than there was on trying to finish second. So yeah, we went out and basically had 2 almost perfect runs on the best stage in the world. I mean, it's just an absolute roller coaster. It's incredible, you know, the atmosphere on the stage when it was the only road and the only stage run during the day, then every spectator that was there for the rally was on that stage, and it's just incredible. People everywhere. Like I said, the stage is just a roller coaster. It's just jump after jump after jump. The whole stage is basically 4th and 5th gear. We had an average speed of about 126 kilometres an hour, something like that, over 22, 23k roads. So it was just incredible, and such a difficult stage to get right. I mean, from last year, I found it really, really tricky. You know, it's so important to get the lines right, and the pace notes have to be really detailed, and also the co-driver, Dan in my case, has to be really spot on to get that stage right. And yeah, I think everything worked. You know, I was comfortable with the car, comfortable with the stage, comfortable with the notes. Dan did a great job, and we were able to just take the rhythm the whole way through the stage and yeah, really push. And you know, of course, it always comes with a little bit of risk, but like I said a second ago, in that situation, we had no choice but to try and push for the 2 stage wins and give ourselves the maximum championship buffer going into the last round in Central Europe. So yeah, now the championship fight goes to Central Europe. Theoretically, we have a 5-point lead when you consider the drop rounds, and then when you consider that Central Europe is double points plus you get points per stage win still, it really is quite an open game for a lot of drivers. Or there's probably 3 drivers that have got a decent chance of winning it, and then there's a couple of drivers that are in a mathematical chance, I suppose. But ultimately, we're going to go there and yeah, just try to wrap up the championship. That's what we've been fighting for all year, and we've been leading it now for a few rounds. So yeah, the idea is obviously to win the championship there, rally on tarmac, which is something different, a little bit different for us, and yeah, something that we're just going to have to get used to and try and put as much practice in as we can, and yeah, try to really prepare well so that we can come out of the blocks firing and have a good event and try and control it from the start, I suppose. But yeah, before then, actually, next week I'm off back home to Australia, and that's to compete in the Narooma Forest Rally with Richie Dalton and Shamrock Haulage's Toyota Yaris AP4. So really, really excited for that. It'll be great to do a rally at home again, and no real expectation for that rally. Just go there and have some fun and enjoy the seat time, and yeah, wherever we stack up, we stack up. So yeah, it's going to be really great. Thanks everyone for following, and thanks as always for the support, and yeah, see you at a rally soon. Cheers.